Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, if you're new to the page, in 94, I got arrested. I was sentenced to 16 plus life. I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. I got some good stories and some good insight on things related to prison. If you like the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP Rocky, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. So yeah, y'all see the title right here. Why I didn't interview the guy who has the channel known as That Prison Guard. That Prison Guard was a former CO who I believe eventually made it to lieutenant and worked for many years in the California Department Correction System. And so there's really only one reason why I didn't interview him. He didn't respond to me. A couple of months ago, I reached out. I saw him doing a video where he was talking about, I believe, a convict had attacked a prison guard. And he was saying in the course of that video that when basically there's no retribution, being passed out in situations like that, which, I know from my experience, I know that to be untrue. So I left a comment in this section. I gave him my opinion on that situation. I also told him that, I'm a former convict. I've done 24 years. I have a YouTube page, and I would like to interview him. So I went back to that particular story a couple of days later to see if he had replied, and my comment was removed. It was taken down. It was removed. Now, I know from doing YouTube that we have an analytical section. Basically, it tells us, where our viewers are and what age range, what countries watching our channel the most, all the analytics of our channel. It also has a section in there where, therefore, the comments are in there, and it has a section of where we responded to the comments we didn't respond, and also it's a section where the comments are held for review. Sometimes, for whatever reason, YouTube will hold a particular comment, maybe if it feels it's offensive or whatever, and we have to approve or disapprove that comment being placed in our comment section. Sometimes those comments are extremely harmless, and for whatever reason, they wind up there. I remember maybe about a year ago, somebody was complaining, "Oh yeah, hey Jill, man, you removed my comment. I'm unsubscribing to your channel." And so I never seen the guy's comment. So I went to that section, and the comment was there. But like I said, we have to go there and review it and approve it. So anyway, by me knowing these things, I definitely gave that prison guard the benefit of a doubt, and was thinking, okay, well, maybe for some reason my comment went to that section. So I left another comment pretty much saying the same thing, came back once again. I noticed that it was removed or whatever. So he never reached back out to me. Then, as of late, I've seen him doing some interviews with a few other dudes. Shout out to Dubs and a couple of other dudes that he done interviews with, right? So, of course, it's his choice, it's his right and prerogative to do an interview with whomever he chooses, right? So me, to keep it real, I wonder, was it a little bit, because all the channels I seen him doing interviews with were Hispanic channels, right? So, I don't know. So anyway, some people may ask me, hey, Chill, why do you even want to, by you being a former convict, criminal, things of that nature, why do you even want to interview a prison guard, right? Well, of course, I have a channel based on prison. You guys who watch the channel obviously watch the channel because you guys are interested in all things, I would assume, related to prison. So me trying to take a journalistic approach to things, I like to try to give you guys the best experience of prison. And the only way I can do that is to definitely try to diversify the guests that I have on my my channel. And so, so you guys can get angles and experiences from all walks of life that go to prison, whether it be black, crip blood, Hispanic, white, down south Hispanic, up north Hispanic, or whatever. Like I say, I'm willing to have all these people on my channel. Now, we know, of course, that for whatever reason, everybody is not necessarily willing or okay with coming on YouTube and explaining their story and stuff like that. So for anybody that's ever been wondering, that's why you may not see certain individuals on my channel, because my channel is welcome to everybody, because like I said, I would like for everybody to share their experience with the audience. That way it just won't be one-sided, I'm even willing to interview a person who went to the S&Y yard, depending on why he went to the S&Y yard. Reason being is because, for one, I believe that in order for those of us who've done time, in order for us to try to increase our chances of staying free, we have to get rid of the prison mentality as much as possible. All the things that came with that prison mentality that sent us to prison, we have to try to eliminate that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, now a lot of us live in the criminal life for so long, we won't be able to eliminate all that type of stuff, but the more we can get rid of, in my opinion, the more we increase our chances on staying free. And so the reality is that everyone who goes to prison, everyone doesn't stay on the main line. You have many people who go to SNY, and that's just the reality. Everybody's not going to be able to cut. Everybody's not going to be able to make the cut and stay on the main line. Some cars have very rigid programs that must be ran. But in my opinion, the majority of the people who go to SNY yard who don't go for bad charges are going there because of situations they brought on themselves. That's how prison is. A lot of the situations that people get into, they bring on themselves. So anyway, like I said, with that being said, depending on why a person went to the SNY yard, I definitely wouldn't have a problem interviewing him, hearing about his experience, because I was at the name of the prison was North Kern. North Kern had a SNY yard at the time. This was, I believe, like 2012, somewhere around there. Now, to keep it 100 with y'all, like I always try to do, that SNY yard was just as cracking, or even more cracking. This was on a level 3 facility. That SNY yard was cracking just as much as the yard I was on, or even more. People think that just because people go to SNY yards, they become soft and timid, and that's not the case. So anyway, I digress a little bit, right? So my whole point of leaving a comment on that prison guard's channel was because, like I said, I definitely deeply disagree, because I've known several people who have assaulted guards, and definitely they definitely get their retribution. That is an extremely huge no-no, putting your hand on a guard in prison, especially a female guard. I told a story one time, and the name of that story is When Guards Overstep Their Authority. And I'll try to leave a link for you guys if you have not seen that particular story that I told. But that story was about one of the most vicious assaults that I had seen a convict carry out on a CO. What happened is the CO went in this guy's cell and illegally, basically you can say, stole his property. She got mad at the whole building, or the whole black population, searched all the black cells and took stuff that we were allowed to have. He told her to give his stuff back, or else, she didn't give it back, and so he went upside her head. So like I say, I'll leave that in there. So, but of course now he's free. I talked to him almost about a year ago. I would like to interview him. He definitely told me, yeah, they beat him up, whooped on him. I had another cellie by the name of Hoover Mike when I was in the hole in Sat F 2005, I believe. He told me that one time he had went to the hole in Lancaster for an assault on staff. 9 times out of 10, when you assault staff, they'll move you to another institution to go do your time in the SHU, which is the segregated housing unit. So he told me about a week after he was there, late at night, around 2 or 3 in the morning, 4 or 5 guards, his cell opened up. 4 or 5 guards ran in the cell, he said, and beat him, beat the brakes off and beat him real bad. He said, until the point he said he cried. He said for the next week, he was urinating and defecating blood. They beat him so bad, busted up his ribs, broke up his ribs and stuff like that. So I believe anyone that's done any decent amount of prison time knows that if you assault a prison guard, you are definitely going, you definitely going, you got some physical retribution coming. And one reason being also is because there's a lot of nepotism in those prison systems. You have brothers, sisters working up in there. I knew this one particular CO. He started off being a CO. When I left, he had made it up to lieutenant. But anyway, he was a CO. His daddy was the assistant warden. His mama was the lieutenant. It's like that. I've known several COs who have brothers that work in the system, sisters that work in the system. And of course, all these people are friends. They hang out and stuff. So yeah, if you definitely assault one of them, they're going to take it personal, like anyone on the street would take it personal. And then of course, they have the means to carry out this revenge on you. You're going to be inside their system. And even if you get transferred to another institution, of course, when you get off the bus and you're going to the hole, they know your charges, and so it's a lookout for each other's system, and they're definitely gonna pay you back or whatever. So, like I said, I reached out to him, and he never responded. Now, I will say that I came to prison in 1996. He didn't start working, I believe, by his own accounts until 2006. So things had definitely changed, but they hadn't changed that much. But maybe I say about a year and a half ago, I've been in talks actually with a former prison guard. I believe he done about 23, 24 years. I think he started working in 91. Actually, also, he was working at Ironwood when I was down there in Ironwood. 2003, I got caught up in a riot on Sea Yard, and I went to the hole, and he actually was working in the hole and would escort us to the yard. So how I come to one of the homies who was going to the yard told me that he was married to his cousin. His cousin happened to be a childhood friend of mine who I grew up with. So she seen my story one day on YouTube and reached out to me and told me that her former husband, would possibly interview with me. So we had tried to work that situation out. We were supposed to get the interview done about a year ago, but on that particular day, he had a emergency come up. So I just talked to him recently. So hopefully we can still have that interview. Now, good news though. I spoke to another CO who reached out to me. This CO started working in 86, back when prison was prison. He eventually made it up to a sergeant. Now, when I say back when prison is prison, that's back in the days where you could have an individual or two stabbed on the yard. What they would do back then is they would remove the dude that was stabbed. If possible, they would find the dude who stabbed him, and it would be right back to normal program. They'd run yard and everything. So anyway, this former sergeant has a lot of interesting stories. I'm going to try to get the interview done Thursday or Friday, and then hopefully have it up ASAP, and then also have him come back on my page periodically and tell us a lot of stories. Now, like I say, he started in 86, back when prison was prison, when they still had the BGF, the MA, the Aryan Brotherhood on the yard. A lot of interesting stories, a lot of fight stories, a lot of stabbings, just a lot of interesting stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to have that for you guys coming up soon. Anyway, so that's just a quick answer right there to why I never did interview the prison guard. Like I said, I tried to interview him. I reached out to him long time ago, a couple of months back. He never responded. Anyway, y'all already know what it is, man. Stay tuned. I definitely got some good stories coming up for y'all. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.